Hey there, folks. I'm Charlotte, the Gulf Coast Granny, and this morning we are going for a walk. This is something that me and my friend Mona at Sifton Some Soil and More have been doing every other morning. Um, but today she is busy and has a doctor's appointment, and I thought I would go by myself. Um, it's been a very long time since I started walking. Let me look for traffic here. There's not a lot of traffic in this neighborhood, but you just never know, right? Um, Let me get down the road here. Goodness gracious, that sun is bright. Let me do this. There. That now I can see what's going on. Uh, walks by myself. And so Mona and I got together a few weeks ago and decided we needed to get out of our houses. We get busy. We are senior citizens and officially. And it doesn't do us any good to just sit idle all day at our house and pretty much do nothing other than housework. That's not really great exercise, right? So we started off doing about a half a mile to a mile a day. And in that time frame, in the past 4 weeks, um, hey Mona, how are you? Um, in the past 4 weeks, we have increased that to over 2 miles a day. There's my buddy there. She's watching from wherever she is. Look, Mona, I decided that I had to go walking anyway, and if I couldn't walk with you, I would just walk with everybody. Um, so anyhow, I am on my way to wherever I decide to walk to today. I haven't made a real decision, but anyhow, this has been really beneficial for both Mona and I. I have a lot more energy than I had even 4 weeks ago. Hang on, there's a car coming. Um, and I've lost about 6 pounds, which is kind of miraculous. Now I have been eating better, so it's not all due to the walking, but the fact that I have more energy is just it's a real bonus to all of this walking. I mean, I enjoy it. I love getting out in the morning and looking at nature, and even though there's houses in the way, I mean, I live in a small town, so a lot of it's just subdivisions, but it's nice to just be outside, getting air, looking at the birds, and listening to loud trucks. So if you're here and if you decide you want to come walk with me, you are very welcome to do so. Go ahead and make a comment in the chat and let me know you're here. If you are, let me see. I can't even see anything on this glare. There we go. I think I'm going to go this way today because the sun is out. It is a beautiful day. Look, y'all, there's not a cloud in the sky. Mona, can you hear me okay? Hey, Dwayne, how's it going? It's good to see you this morning. Good morning to you. I am out here in the beautiful South Mississippi weather. The sky is clear, the sun is shining, and it's going to be a hot one today. I know it was the first day of fall yesterday, but I'm telling you, it's still hot and muggy and uncomfortable. in the middle of the day here in South Mississippi. Um, why's that car just sitting there? Look, y'all, look. See? It don't. Oh, it's parked. There's nobody in it. I think I'm gonna have to get me a better um tripod if I'm gonna take it on walks with me, because number one, this one bounces a lot, and number two, it's kind of hard to hold on to because I have to keep it held straight out. Oh no, there is somebody in there. I don't know what he's doing. So I'll be switching hands back and forth because my hand gets tired after a while holding it straight up. Now we got the gas man here in front of us, parked on the side of the road too. So let's see. I have no idea how far I've walked. I forgot to turn on my app, y'all, because my app tells me how far I go and it maps my route and everything. Tells me how many minutes it took me to do a mile. Right now I'm at about 25 minutes a mile, but I'm not trying to go fast. I'm just trying to move. Now, before when I was walking, I was doing about 18 minutes in a mile. I was doing the fast walking thing. I can't do that anymore because the last time I did it, it caused me to get shin splints, and I was in pain for quite a while. And I had to stop walking for a good long time. So now I've learned that I just need to kind of take it easy, start off slow, build up the muscles in my leg. Oh, let me see. Over there, you don't really get fall. Hey, Jen, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. I got a rock in my shoe. Hang on a sec. Ooh, how did I do that? All these weeks we've been walking, and I haven't once gotten a rock in my shoe. And now here I am. No, Dwayne, we do get somewhat of a fall. It's not beautiful like it is where you are. I mean, the leaves don't really turn colors, and most everything's evergreen. We've got oak trees, and they stay green during the wintertime. The leaves don't fall off of them till spring. I've heard of people who walk great distances. Well, I'm not one of those people, but I have too. Um, I wouldn't mind doing a walk-in marathon, like maybe a 5K. That's not a marathon. To me, it's a marathon. A 5K or a 10K one day. Who knows? I might. I still got a lot of training to do, put it that way. Let's see who's coming up behind me. Who knows? I don't want to go that direction. I'll go the other direction. So, I'm going to turn the camera around, I think, if I can remember how to do this. And that way I won't have to just be on my face. Y'all can see where I'm going and what I'm doing here. Facing back. There. Did I do it? Oh, I did. Okay. This will be easier to hold the camera too because I can hold it closer to my body. That street right there is no shade on it whatsoever, but the one I'm about to go on is shady periodically. But then I'll have to go somewhere else to finish up and get the mileage that I'm looking for. So I don't know how many senior citizens go for a walk, but let me tell you what inspired me many years ago to walk. I lived in a different neighborhood about 4 blocks away from here, and there was this little old lady who was just precious, and she was tiny little thing. She was just real thin and petite, and every morning I would see her walking around my cul-de-sac. Well, one morning she stopped and chatted with me. And I mentioned that I see her every day and that that I wondered why she was out doing this every day. She said, I walk 3 miles a day, every day. And she said, I had some health problems, and I decided that I would walk for the exercise. And so she encouraged me to do some walking too. Now, mind you, I wasn't as old as she, and since then she has passed on, um, which is kind of sad, you know. But she was by herself. Her husband had passed, and this was something she did for her. So I started doing it, and I enjoyed it so much until, of course, I had that heart attack, and then I got so afraid to go by myself. I don't know why. I mean, at the time I didn't have my phone, um, so I was kind of stranded on the street and had to walk back to the house to call for help. That was what was so scary. Now I've got a phone and I've got access to anybody I want to call. Okay, who's barking up here? Oh, it's behind that fence right there. Thank goodness. You sound so ferocious. Yeah, you are, aren't you? Please don't bust through that fence and come eat me, please. Yeah, you're not happy. Oh, let's see. So that's directly in front of me. I know this street goes straight out, but I'm not sure about the other one. So let's go down this street. I haven't been all the way to the end yet. I'll wait and do that. I'll have Poppy drive around there and see what's going on down that street. Oh, Lord, this dog is stalking me. Now he's at the other end of this house, trying to wait for me to come this direction. Oh, now he's back. He can't find me. That's funny. Now watch, he'll come back down here to this end of the fence. Yep, here he comes. See? Right there behind that fence. He's like, I will find you, lady. And if I could get through this fence, I might bite your leg. Okay. Why are there no sidewalks? That's a very good question, Dwayne. Because I live in a very small town, and these are super old subdivisions. And back in the day, I guess nobody really thought about sidewalks. I don't know. I wish we did have more sidewalks. Um, there's a newer neighborhood down the street that has sidewalks, but I kind of prefer to walk um, where there's shade. You know, in these newer neighborhoods, what they do is they tear down all the vegetation so that they can build houses. And then it takes time for people to landscape and have good trees. Well, here, this is a very mature and established neighborhood. And look at all these trees. I mean, it's insane. And here, where I live, oak trees are protected, and so are magnolias. So you will see tons and tons of old oak trees that are enormous. Um, that is not one of them right there. Um, I don't know what kind of tree. That looks like an old crappy popcorn tree, but I know it's not. Nobody would landscape a popcorn tree. Oh, that's a Bradford pear is what that is. Okay. Um, we don't have a lot of pine trees, and as I say that, right in front of me, there's a couple of them standing tall. But as a rule, we don't have a lot of pine trees around here. But we do have bazillions of oak trees. Now, the only ones that are protected are the live oaks, but there's a lot of them here. We also have other kinds of oak trees like little scrub oaks and water oaks, and I don't know if that's a technical name for them. I just know that that's what we've called them all of my life. And they don't usually make good shade, and But the live oaks, man, they're incredible, incredible trees. And when they fall hard. And when we have hurricanes, somebody always has one in their house. 2 or 3 people usually have a big old oak tree in their house. It's one of the things I'm afraid of during a hurricane around here. I'm not afraid of the wind or the rain. I'm afraid of the trees falling. Because as you can see, this little town, I don't know if you can see yet, but wait till I go down my street. My street it's covered with trees. It's covered all the way down almost. Um, let's see. Oh, we got 7 people in here this morning. Good morning, Jane Doe. How are you doing today? I hope I haven't missed anybody, y'all. The print is very, very small on this phone. And even with my glasses, these words are very, 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 very small. Jane Doe Mona was busy this morning and couldn't come exercise with me. So I decided to take off on my own. Oh, I heard some rustling around behind me, and I thought it was a dog messing in some leaves or something, but it's really somebody's sprinkler going off. It was sputtering a little bit. Okay, let's see. It's also why those homes lack basements because of the flooding. That's true. And not only that, Dwayne, but here where I live, the water table is so high because I'm by the ocean. If you dig down about 3-4 feet, you're going to hit water. There's so much moisture under the ground. So basements are not really suitable for this environment. I wish like crazy that I could have a house with a basement in it. That would be so amazing. But it's just not in the cards if you live in the South. There are some places like up in North Mississippi, near Tennessee, they've got basements up there. But they're closer to the foothills of the mountains too, the Appalachian Mountains. But even my father, who lives in Georgia, he don't live anywhere near the ocean, but they don't have basements in South Georgia either. Of course, now I will say, let me look for cars. Here in the South, it's difficult to preserve food in like cellars and things like that because the humidity is so high and the insect pressure is so crazy. If you have a cellar under your house, which I would be terrified to dig, but if you had that here or a basement, you'd have to deal with moisture, you'd have to deal with pests like roaches and spiders and all of that mess. Now, of course, you could spray, but I don't like doing that because I have pets. There is a product that I buy at Walmart, and it's called Zevo, Zevo. And that's a really great natural product to get rid of bugs on the inside of your house. I don't know if it keeps them from coming in or if it kills them, but I've never seen dead bugs in the house. So I'm going to assume that the bugs don't like the scent or something, and it keeps them outside. But now I haven't read the label recently, so I couldn't tell you in exact detail what this thing does. Okay. Now, y'all, this road here that I'm about to turn right on is one of the busiest roads in our town, and look at it, it's dead. Now, the second most busiest road is straight down there, And you hear the train? The train's about to go by. Let's go. Let's go see. Morning. See right down there, the train. I can't make it big. Oh, that's the new Amtrak Mardi Gras. Um, Amtrak just recently restored service between New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama, and they call that route the Mardi Gras. And it's only got about 5 cars on the train. Um, but it comes through here 2, 3 times a day. I don't know, maybe 4. This train track down here is really busy, and it is a main thoroughfare between Florida and I believe either Texas or California. I have a friend who lives in San Antonio, and this very same railroad or this train track goes right through her town. So I know it goes at least that far. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at the comments, y'all. Just bear with me. We had a root cellar on the farm. Yeah, that would be a disaster here. Yeah, these are some of the trees. Look, this is a live oak tree right here, that big one, but it's a baby. Oh, look at this one. There's another one. See that one? Oh, Lord, I'm going to fall over if I do that again. I was standing on my head in the middle of the road. Oh, look at this one. I don't know if you can see this or not, but let me get on this side of the sun. See all of those branches up there? That is one tree. Now, if I can, I wish I could climb in their backyard and show you. But if you look down there by that garbage pail, you can see the trunk of that tree. It's enormous. Another sprinkler. He got me. Hello, little squirrels. Let's see, can I get y'all? But yeah, this whole town is fairly old, and all of the homes that are up and down these streets in town where I am are very well, probably built in the between the 40s and the 60s. In fact, the house I live in was built, I believe, in 1954. Um, Most of them are not up to code because they're grandfathered in. Let's see. Yep, I'm on Cox Road. Now let me get to my. I love them too. The birds will love. Oh yeah, the birds love them, Dwayne. The birds go crazy in the trees. Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna walk to the end of this street and then I'm gonna turn around and go back because I'm not walking on the busy road. This road coming up where that red truck is coming in, it's really busy, and I won't walk on that street, and I won't ride my bicycle on that street because these people drive like they own this whole place, and honestly, some of them do own it. There's a pretty old house right there. Now, across those tracks over there, about 4 blocks further, is the beach. And I can walk from my house to the beach in about 20 minutes because I have to, if I had a straight across way to get to the beach without walking over the railroad tracks, I could do it. But oh, there's one right there. Hey, y'all want to walk to the beach? Let me know. Decision time is right now. Let's see. Building a basement in such conditions is technically difficult and would require extensive, costly drainage And plumbing, yes, definitely. And a lot of engineering too, because the soil is very sandy. So there would have to be things in place to prevent, um, the soil from pulling away from the house. Soil is real sandy here, which in a way is good, but it's also saturated with salt. Here, I'm going to cross this big old street. It's not really that big, it's only 2 lanes, but it is constantly busy, except maybe this time of morning. Check this out. Okay, I think this is Magnolia Street. No, it ain't. What street is this up here? I can't remember. Okay, see, there's no sidewalks here either. It would be really cool if there was a bike lane right here. But there's something to do with the railroad owning this land right here between the road and the tracks. Let me get up here. I got to pay attention to my steps because I'm on a steep incline. We made it. Ooh, y'all, here comes one of them old cars. It's almost time for cruising the coast. Here, let's see. Ooh, that sounds like a beast, don't it? Okay, let's walk. See, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see the beach from this hill. The railroad tracks right here is what prevented Katrina's storm surge from infiltrating the neighborhoods back there. All of this from here to the beach, all these houses had water in them from Katrina. Y'all look at that big old house. I mean tree. I didn't mean house, I meant tree. It's got toilet paper in it from homecoming. Y'all, we escaped getting toilet paper this year. And I'm happy. I'm happy for that. Because I don't like cleaning that mess up. Down here, these houses are pretty old too. But because of Katrina, there's old peppered with new. A lot of the homes didn't survive. And in fact, the further we get, or the closer we get to the beach, the less old homes you'll see and the more new ones. Because right here where we are right now, the houses were flooded, but they weren't completely topped with water. But I will show you in a minute. Well, actually, yeah, I'm still on the incline or decline of this hill. I'm on Island View. I need to get over onto Magnolia because I like that street better. It's not as busy as this one. People use this one as a cut through from the beach to the neighborhoods back there. And it depends too on where you were on the coast. Some little areas were steep, like this one here where I'm at. There's a steep decline from that railroad track down to the beach. It's really steep. So a lot of these homes, if you were 26 feet or more above sea level, you didn't have water in your house. But we had a 26-foot storm surge here, and a lot of these homes were completely underwater, completely, especially the first 2 blocks, some the third block, and then the fourth block got spared considerably considering how high the water was. But I mean, if you can imagine 26 feet above my head, or, well, I'm 5 feet tall, so that's 21 feet above my head. That's as tall as some of these trees here, you know? Can you imagine the water being so high that just the tops of those trees right there are sticking out of it? I can't. Thankfully, I was not here for Katrina. I lived in Virginia at the time, but we were planning to move here. Well, we ended up being delayed longer than we thought we would, and we did not get here until 4 years after Katrina. And when I tell you that when we first got here, see, we're still in the old houses, older homes. I don't know if that one's old or not. That one looks fairly new. That one might have got destroyed and then rebuilt. I don't know if you notice or not, but I'm starting to level out. So I'm not coming downhill like I was a few minutes ago. And now you will start to see all the brand new homes. That used to be a home in that vacant lot right there. That vacant lot's been for sale since Katrina, and nobody wants to buy it because it is lower than all the other properties around here. So what happens is, if you build a property down here, build a house on it, you have to raise it up to the base flood elevation, which in some cases can be 6 feet, 4 feet. Other cases, it can be 22 feet. That's expensive to build a foundation that is raised up so far above normal. You have to have pylons driven into the ground. Um, they have to have all that big, heavy equipment. Um, yeah, it's not pleasant. It's very expensive. Here's another property for sale that used to be a house. Now, they have built back tremendously. You know what? I'm going to cross the street over here because I'm walking on the wrong side of the road. And I bet people are cussing me, saying, "Lady, get out of the road." I would, maybe. I don't know. This right here, this little tiny, what looks like a mobile home. Well, newsflash, mobile homes are not allowed in this town. But that is an old Katrina cottage left over from Katrina, and they got permission to put it on a foundation and put it on their property, which is kind of cool. Now, mind you, those things are tiny, and that one looks like it might have 2 bedrooms, but I doubt it. Here's a new home that was built right after Katrina. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Now we're getting to the tall houses because their elevation is so much lower than the ones we just saw. See, that one there is only about 5 feet off the ground where the brick is. Um, but over here, that's a whole story. That blue house. It's a whole story off the ground. Now, this one apparently made it through the storm. Who knows why? Who knows why? Pretty little garden they've got there. A shade garden. Hmm. I like the homes too down here. Um, Back when we first moved here, you could buy one of these lots for about $12,000. I don't know why we didn't buy one. Well, because we knew we couldn't afford to build a house on it. Like I said, those concrete pylons underneath that house right there are expensive. And it adds probably somewhere between 25 and 50% to the cost of building your home. This one's nice too. I love the front doors on this house. Look at that enormous yucca plant in the front. I think it's a yucca. Looks like one. It could be something else. Could be aloe, but I doubt it. Look at the doors up there. Isn't that pretty? Now that's what I'd like to have. Okay, I live in a tiny little house. But do you see the screened rooms on this house? There's one on the right and one on the left. That's what I would like to have on the front of my house. Somewhere where I could sit outside and not be bothered by bugs, because the bugs here are merciless. Look at those houses over there, how they're all up on stilts. We're almost at the beach, y'all. And look at here. We have sidewalks now. Let me stop here. I like the color of that house. A nice blue. Yeah, that's a pretty soft blue, isn't it? But it's got saturation. Good morning. Crashing, all that stuff. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It looks like a park setting. How many of y'all did I? Oh, I didn't lose any of you. Let's see. Nice. I was wondering if you were using it today. I am using it today. Let's see. Okay. That's where I'm at. So what I'm about to say is, in the median there is where all the oak trees were too. So this particular side of the road going west was covered by shade and oak trees on both sides. But of course, Katrina came and that all went away. And now, I mean, there's not even, years ago, there was tons and tons of Spanish moss hanging from the trees and stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go this way until the traffic dies down. This is the first busiest street in town. This is Highway 90. Oof. And of course, it rides along the coast for the whole length of Mississippi and even into Louisiana and into Florida. In fact, if you are familiar with Destin, Florida, this is the same road that goes through Destin, Florida. Look at this vacant property. All that used to be homes, y'all. So there's still, even though they've built back these beautiful beach homes along this road, and I'm talking all the way down the coast, there's still scars from Katrina everywhere, everywhere. I'll never forget. I'm sorry, I'm wiping sweat off my face. I'll never forget when we first moved here, and we would see huge vacant pieces of property with nothing but stairs going up. Like the house was washed away, but the stairs were not. In fact, there's a spot downtown that still has the stairs in front of the property. I'll have to film that for y'all one day. But or you would see a property like this vacant, and then nothing but the hold on, the rails that you hold on to get down into a pool. They would be sticking up, but there'd be nothing there. No house, no pool, no nothing. 6 beach lots. Call that number if you're interested. But I will tell you, insurance for a home right here is going to cost you at least 10 grand a year. Flood insurance, hazard insurance, and all that combined. I promise you, 8 to 10,000 a year. And I'm just not willing to pay that much for the privilege of that view. I like the view, but I can walk and see it. But I am a frugal lady, so y'all know that already. I have no idea how far I've walked, y'all. I know from my house to this road right here, as the crow flies, is zero point 0.4 miles. But I took the scenic route, didn't I? There's another lot for sale. The only problem that I see with having all these lots for sale down here, and this is a problem downtown. Our downtown in this little town is one street. One street, got a lot of businesses on it. Um, and City Hall's there, and yeah. So, but there's also a lot of residences downtown. So what happens is there's a couple of bars down there, and they have live music, and they really, I don't know if they disturb the residents or not. If I lived downtown, I'd be really ticked off that I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for my place and so much in insurance and taxes. And then I've got to be disturbed every weekend by live music. That would upset me. But then again, I'm a country girl, so a lot of activity around my house is highly discouraged. What does this sign say? Oh, this is Bogsdale. Thomas Hale Boggs, 1914 to 1972, U.S. Congressman from Louisiana for 28 years, was born in the family home built on this site in 1875. See, it's gone. The son of William and Claire Hale Boggs, Representative Boggs served as House Majority Leader 71 to 72. Yeah, that's gone. That family home is no more. Oh, there's an oak tree, but it looks like it needs some help. Oh, that's the one thing I was going to tell you, that before Katrina, there were tons and tons of trees just full of Spanish moss. And I don't know if you've ever seen what Spanish moss looks like. Um, but it's this, it looks kind of like gray hair hanging out of trees, right? It's beautiful, and it's not detrimental to the trees or anything like that. Hang on, I think I just saw a dolphin. Oh no, it's a bird. Never mind. It was a bird diving for food out there. We're going to cross here in a minute. I'll take y'all down and show you the actual real beach instead of just this view from the sidewalk. Look at this house, y'all. That thing is enormous. Enormous. And during Hurricane Zeta, that happened about 6 years ago, that house lost a whole bunch of siding. Let's see, where am I? Oh, I can go across. Yay. Okay. Now I think I'm going to be stranded here for a minute. That street right there is the street that I have to get on to go home. Okay. Now, I'll tell y'all a little interesting factoid about this beach once I get down here on it. There's some steps that I have to maneuver, and they're about 10 inches tall. See these steps right here? Let's see, where am I? Yeah. Well, believe it or not, before they added all of this sand here, and it's beautiful sand, but before they added that, there were steps that went way down. I mean, there were like 10 or 12 steps going all the way down. And what they did when they created this beach was they covered up all those steps. They're under there. And sometimes when a hurricane comes and it washes all this sand out, you can get, you can see them deeper and deeper. Whew. If you'll notice, there's a big pile of sand over there. Well, what that is the state of Mississippi dredges out there in the water from Pensacola all the way down and collects sand. And because the erosion is so immense here, because this is a man-made beach, when the wind blows, it blows all the sand up to the road and it gets scattered all over the road. So, and because the road has all that pollution on it, they won't put it back on the beach because of the wildlife, etc. So what they do is they go get more sand and they pile it up like that, and then they spread it all across the 66 miles of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, of course, they do it, not that one pile, you know. That was silly, wasn't it? Whew. Okay. Well, y'all, I'm about to touch the water of the Mississippi Sound. And the Mississippi Sound is the water that flows between the shore here and those islands out there. Those islands are 6 or 7 miles off the coast, and I know you can't see them today because I can barely see them today. But those are barrier islands, and on the other side of those islands is the Gulf of Mexico. And this water is not what you would expect of a beach. If you'll see, it looks kind of like a lake, the brown water, no waves. And it looks like this about 99 and 44 100ths of the time until there's a hurricane, and then we get waves and, you know, rumbling sea. It's not the prettiest water in the world, but I really enjoy coming out here because it just makes me happy. It just makes me so happy. Even driving along the beach with Poppy and all, I enjoy that so much. Y'all, I can't see the chat because the glare is on my phone, and I'm going to have to get in some shade before I look and check it, okay? I don't know why that big old semi truck's just sitting there on the side of the road. Maybe he's about to install those culverts somewhere along this beach. A lot of our I don't know if you can see out there, but there's pipes going into the water. And all of that is stormwater runoff. You know, in Finding Nemo, who was it? The old grumpy angelfish. I forget what his name was, but he said all drains lead to the ocean. He was not lying. Those are some condos there in front of me. They're designed so that everybody who lives there has a view of some sort. I personally wouldn't want to live there, but, you know, everybody has their own taste. In fact, I don't think I would want to live down here on this street at all because the traffic noise is so constant. But that's just me. I like it quiet. Okay. So now I have about 6/10 of a mile to go and I'll be at the house. Maybe 8/10. I don't know. It's not a whole mile. I know that. Ooh. Up the steps again. See how tall these steps are, y'all? It's crazy. There we go. And back on the sidewalk. Ooh. That's scary. I don't like walking across this highway very much, but, you know. See, this end is clear all the way down. This is actually the highway where Violet's best friend was hit by a truck and nearly killed. I can't remember how long ago that was, but it was 5 or 6 years ago. Thankfully, she made a very miraculous recovery thanks to the Children's Hospital over at the University of South Alabama in Mobile. They saved her life and saved her leg. Um, they had to basically reconstruct her entire leg, build a new one, basically. And the only after effects she has from that tragic, tragic thing that happened to her is drop foot on her right foot. And of course, some lingering effects from a traumatic brain injury. And, there's not any way for an outsider to quantify how that impacts her life. Okay, now I'm in the shade and I can look at this phone real quick. Okay, I can look at the chat now because I'm out of that direct sun. So if y'all have something to ask or say or whatever, go feel free. Feel free. But you see how tall these houses are? They're even higher than the ones on the street we were just on. Now, those condos over there, they don't look like they're raised up, but they are. The bottom floor is their garages, and they're all enclosed. But when a hurricane comes, there's a garage door and a back door, so they can open those up and let the water flow through, and it's not so damaging on the structure when that happens. It's theory. It's just a theory that they always tell us if you have a garage and you're facing north and south to open your garage and let the water flow. There's another. Oh, that house is for sale. Wow. If y'all want to buy a house, there's one for sale right there. I don't know how much it is. I'm going to say close to about 650. Between 450 and 650. This one is so nice. Look at these beautiful trees, y'all. Look at that oak tree. They're everywhere. You see them? You can tell that he takes really good care of his lawn because it's very difficult to have something that looks like a park landscape underneath oak trees. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but about the only thing that grows underneath an oak tree is azaleas. Grass don't like oak trees because they don't get enough sun. Look at that house. I bet you that house is a good 23 feet off the ground, 22, something like that. This one too. But see, now they've enclosed their bottom part, and I'm sure they've made it either a game room or a storage room or something like that, not anywhere where people actually do their daily living. A lot of people will turn these bottom areas of their homes into like patios where they hang out, when they want to be outside, they barbecue and stuff underneath their house, which I think is kind of cool. However, can you imagine walking those steps every day to get to your front door? And I've often looked at this house and I asked Poppy, where the heck is the elevator? Because a lot of folks around here that have high houses like that, they have elevators and they get on them and it takes them up to the floor that they need to enter their house on. And I've never seen one. He said maybe it's on the inside of that garage there, like at the back or something, so that they can drive in their house, walk to the elevator, and just get right on up, which makes sense. This house over here, behind that oak tree right there, is really small house. Well, it started off really small. They built that place one section at a time with their own two hands until they had it to look in the way they wanted it to. And I've been here to watch the progress of that house. And I'm telling you, it's nothing short of miraculous. Now this one over here is this is an older home. This one survived Katrina. It was damaged and they had to fix. See, there's an elevator right there, y'all. See that metal right next to that car? That's the elevator that takes them up to their screened porch and they can get in their house. Now see here, that house right there's only got an elevation of about 5 or 6 feet, which means the water up to this point was not overhead. It was only at the 5 to 6 foot level. And then as we move forward, it will be, the foundations will get shorter and shorter. Oh, goodness gracious. It's getting hot, y'all. I love that little white and green house there in the middle. See that turquoise and then that white and green and then that blue. I like the one in the middle. It's got a huge screen porch on the back. It goes all the way across the back of the house and it's about 10 feet deep, which I think is perfect for a back porch. Here's another piece of property for sale. Now, this is not the house, it's just this vacant property here with no vegetation except for that one tree. And then there's another house, that green one. Oh, goodness. Look, a sidewalk for another 30 feet. And then it's back to the road again. Let's see. I was wondering if you were using, hang on. Y'all, when I stop, it's just so I can read the chat and see if I've missed anything. You know, I really shouldn't wear these pants when I go for a walk. They're very loose, lightweight sweatpants or track pants. They feel like t-shirt material, okay? So they're very lightweight and they don't cling or anything like that. But I don't wear shorts, y'all. I've never really worn shorts since I was a little kid. I like dresses. I'll wear a dress in a New York minute. I do not care for shorts. And I think that if I continue to walk every day like this, which I tend to do, then maybe I should get some longer dresses to wear when I'm on my walks. And that way it's cooler. It's one thing I learned a long time ago living in the South. If you wear dresses, it's a lot cooler than wearing pants. Jeans are, gosh, they're stinking oppressive. And then you feel, after you sweat for a little while, you feel like you're wearing wet clothing. It's crazy. So I prefer dresses for when I'm going to be sweaty. Morning. Morning. That's an electric bike, y'all. Nice one, too. Not as nice as Hazel, of course, but she has 2 feet, 2 wheels on her. You know what? I was thinking about buying myself a 2-wheel electric bike. And I can't decide if I should or not because, you know, the reason I got the tricycle is because I have some balance problems. But, you know, I was thinking too, kids have balance problems when they first start learning to ride a bike. I haven't used those muscles, you know, those core muscles in so many years, you know, and having 7 children probably didn't help those core muscles at all. So if I improve my core muscles, I should be able to keep a bike upright without having balance issues. So I think I'm gonna get one and practice. I mean, now that I'm motivated to walk, I might as well be motivated to get on a bicycle. What do you think of that? Oh, it does work out well. Look at that big old tree right there. It's got vines all over it, all over the trunk. I think, I don't know what kind of vine that is. It could be jasmine. Looks like it. There's a little tiny magnolia tree underneath that wire. The sun is being shaded out by all these oak trees, so it's not able to grow like it wants to. That's okay. What's that song? The Circle of Life? Survival of the fittest? Whatever. Only the strong survive in nature. It's a shame we've taken so much nature out of humanity. That's ugly. I shouldn't have said that. That's kind of ugly to say. I don't know if we didn't have some kind of civility, I guess all the evil in the world would win. And all the sweat's dripping in my eyes and it's burning like crazy. Okay. So I've been walking for about a solid hour now. And I'm going to guess and say that's about 2.5 miles based on 25 minutes a mile. It's about 2.5. And they got a little raised garden beds in their front yard. Look at that. That's pretty. Might have to do something like that at my house. That's really cool. I never thought about having a garden in the front yard other than, like landscaping. That's it. Okay. After we get across this street, I will have 0.3 miles left to get to my house. Whew. Whew. Okay, let me get across here. There. Can you imagine living on that corner? That is not the life for me, my dear. Either one of these corners. All this racket. It gets quieter as you go back a little further. So did y'all enjoy our walk to the beach? Or did I talk too much? I know that's what video's for, but, if we're talking to folks. I know sometimes I kind of get in my head a little bit, start thinking out loud instead of just talking to the audience, but what else are you supposed to do when you're on a walk by yourself with how many people watching? I don't know. I'm new at this, so look, y'all, there's a pretty cute little purple house. It's teeny tiny, but it's adorable if they clean up their yard. Jeez, gross. But I love the purple house. All this property back here to the right of me, all the way from this street to my street, which is about a block and a half, from that stop sign up there all the way to the beach used to be owned by one man. and he left it to all of his progeny, his offspring, and they have populated this area back here. Um, Now, there's some places back here that he'd be rolling over in his grave if he saw what was going on, but that's what happens. Not everybody's going to try to preserve the future for their future generations. Some of them are going to try to destroy it. It's just the nature of being humanity. There's good, there's bad, no matter where you go. And I'm sure he knew that when he was trying to preserve a place for his people. Some were going to do good with it. Some were not going to do good with it. And some even do evil. There's a couple of drug dealers around here I'd like to stay away from. Not on this street, but I know where they are. Everybody knows where they are. Even the police know where they are. They don't do anything. They might arrest them every now and then, fine them, and then let them back out. That's how the city collects money. All those fines they get from people not doing the right thing. Tickets, whole 9 yards. I wish they'd do some more of it, though, because apparently our city is like $2 million in debt. How did that happen? Who knows? We are the highest tax city on the entire coast of Mississippi. And also the city with the least amount of amenities. I don't know how that happens. I enjoy living here. I don't need amenities. I make my own. But, yes, we have fire, we have police, we have rescue. I guess that's all we need. We have clean water for the most part. Of course, I won't drink it, but I think it smells funny, so I don't drink it. I figure if something in there makes it smell, and it's not like sulfur or anything like that. It's just too many chemicals smells. But I can buy my own water and pay their $90 a month for a water bill. But it's good for washing clothes. It's good for taking a bath. This is a nice little street back here. It's quiet. People are real friendly back here. I don't know who owns that house there, but they built that with their own 2 hands too, from the bottom up. I remember when it was nothing but dirt foundation. They've done a really nice job on it. Pretty color too. That mint green is really nice. Apparently I like mint green a lot, don't I? So, hang on one second. I'm going to turn this camera around again and facing front. So y'all can see how hot and sweaty I am. I want to thank y'all for joining me on my walk this morning. I really appreciate it. And I was right about my theory that even if Mona's not with me, if I go live, then I feel like somebody's with me and I'm not so apprehensive about coming on my walk, But thank y'all. I'm almost at my house. I got 2 houses to go and I'll be there. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live. Thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you again real soon, all right?